Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today Group E will present about management and evaluation of transmission line project. So this is a member of Group E project, starting with Adam bin Ismail, Nordina Akila binti Syamri, Muhammad Hafizi bin Fauzi, Muhammad Arif Hazid bin Syamsul Khairi. So we will start with 4.1 project description that will explain by Arif Hazid.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Arif Hazid bin Syamsul Khairi. Okay, my metric number is 2012911092. Okay, firstly I would like to discuss about the project description on the transmission line project that we have chosen, which is the route from Jitra until Chandun. As you can see here in the map, I have marked the selected area from Jitra until Chandun. The factors that we choose this area is because firstly is because of the stretch of land between Jitra and Chandun either has a high energy demand or act as a key hub for transmitting energy, which is the Jitra until Chandun road have a lot of energy demand, which is this area have a high electrical need because of these places have a lot of high building such as a factory or something else. Okay, and then the concentration of the distance and topographical difficulty and the availability of appropriate land for infrastructure building. As I said before, this area have a lot of industrial area such as factory or industrial building, and this area also have a lot of population, which is they need a lot of electrical. This area is good selection for transmission line project. Okay, and then for 4.2, which is management organization chart of this project, which is transmission line. Okay, firstly we have a project manager, which is Mr. Muhammad Hafizi Muhammad Fauzi, and then we have an engineering manager, stakeholders and human resources manager. Okay, for the description, which is project manager is responsible for creating the project strategy, goals, delivers, tangible and resource requirement, and then he also need to build and lead the project team, which is recruiting members, assigning tasks and fostering collaboration. And then for project team, he need to take charge and lead an engineering team, which is to provide guidance, support and mentorship to individual members. He also need to understand the general business practices and effective coordinate engineering goal with the broader organization objective. And then we have stakeholders, which is he need to lead and manage an engineering team, providing guidance and support and also mentorship. Then you also need to coordinate engineering goal with the larger organization objective and possess knowledge of general business practices. And lastly, we have a human resources manager, which is need to develop and implement recruitment strategies, attract qualified candidates, conduct an interview and coordinate the hiring process, which is to collaborate with hiring managers to meet staffing needs. And then human resources manager also need an employee training and develop assess company training to design and deliver training program and foster professional development and succession of the planning. Okay, I think it's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Hafizi bin Muhammad Fauzi from FTKE Power Industrial. In this video, I would like to explain on how our group designed the project network diagram and time completion for this transmission line project. I will start with the project network diagram first. I'm going to explain briefly this part based on the network diagram and table of activity shown here. Refer to the table. Activity A, which is contract award and kickoff meeting, will be starting point for our network diagram. It has 4-week expected time duration. That means activity A need to be complete in 4 weeks. Next, for activity B, C and D, it will depend on activity A completion. It means that we cannot proceed with activity B, C and D until we finish activity A first. Activity B, C and D will be our second point in the network diagram. This procedure will be applied on all activity until it reach activity P. Then after finish designing the network diagram, we can now determine the critical path for our project. Critical path is the path with the highest expected time to complete the project. So based on the network diagram shown here, the critical path for our project is A, C, E, G, L, M and P with 75 weeks expected finish time. Now we move on to expected time completion. For this 4.4 part, the question requires us to find the expected time to finish 99.85% of the project. First thing first, we need to find TO and TP value by assuming TO and TP value is important to calculate a variance. To find TP and TO value, we can use a formula TE is equal to TO plus 40M plus TP divided by 6. For example, TE for activity A is 4. So I assume TO is equal to 1, TM is equal to 5 and TP is equal to 3. When inserting this value into a formula, TE for activity A should be 4. Next, we can calculate a value of variance by using a formula TP minus TO divided by 6. Repeat the step on every activity that relate with a critical path. All the calculation, a result is shown in the table here. For the next step, find a standard derivation value by using formula square root total of variance square. The answer is 0.816. Finally, we can now calculate the expected time value by using formula Z equal to TS minus TE divided by standard derivation. Derive the formula until it becomes TE equal to TS minus Z multiplied by standard derivation. Next, insert every value that we get into the formula. TS is our critical path value, which is 75 weeks. Standard derivation is 0.816 and Z, we need to find it using Z distribution table. Based on the project completion percentage given, find the 99.85% on the table. Then pick the left column value and add it with the top row value. The Z value that we get is 2.97. Now insert the Z value in the formula and calculate the expected time value. So expected time if the project completion is 99.85% is at week 73. That's all from me. Thank you.
In this page, I will discuss 4.5 cost of project. The calculation of the total number of tower required for a transmission line based on the given parameters. The parameters include the total length of transmission, the distance between each tower and the resulting number of towers. So, starting with the calculation of transmission lines parameters, total length of transmission is 35,000 meters. Distance between each tower is 250 meters. So to determine the number of towers needed for the transmission line, divided the total length of transmission by the distance between each tower. So the calculation number of tower is 35,000 meters divided by 250 meters, which is equals to 140 tower of transmission line. So based on the given parameter, it is determined that a total of 140 towers are required for the transmission line. This calculation allows for proper spacing between each tower, ensuring efficient transmission and distribution of power. Starting with a cost of material, which is a tower ground system, the quantity is 140 and cost per unit is 1,250. So 140 times 1,250 equal to total cost, which is 175,000. Moving with a lighting protection system, the quantity of it is 280. Equipment grounding system, which is 560. Cross arms, which quantity of it is 840. Braces is 1680 quantity. Insulator, including suspension insulators, strand insulators and pin insulators, which is total all of it is 1960 quantity. The structure steel, which is 2800 quantity. Bolts and fastener, the quantity of it is 6200 quantity. Ready mix concrete, quantity of it is 63,000 cubic per meter. And lastly is a coating or paints that count with the liter, so 290,912 liter. So the total cost for the material is 13,050,110. Cost of safety signage, starting with a safety signage, which is quantity of it is 1,400. Second is identification and directional signage, which is quantity of it is 560. And lastly is equipment labeling, which is total of it is 2,800 quantity. So the overall cost of safety signage, which is 196,000. Third is cost of subcontractors and consultants. So first is a contractor. So the total of contractor we needed is I needed is 10 people. So cost per person is 25,000. So the total cost for it is 250,000. For the subcontractors, the total people needed is 30 people. So the cost per person is 23,000 per people. So the total cost of it is 690,000. And lastly is a consultant. So the quantity people needed is 5 people, and cost per person is 18,000. So the total of it is 90,000. So the overall cost for the subcontractor and consultant is 1,030,000. Cost of labours, starting with the skilled people, which is the quantity of it is 56 people. So cost per person is 3,000 per person. So the total cost of it is 168,000. For the semi-skilled person, so the quantity people needed which is 56 people too. So the cost per person is 2,000. So the total cost of it is 112,000. Lastly is unskilled person, only needed is 28 people. So cost per person is 1,600, and the total cost of it is 44,800. So overall cost for cost of labor is 324,800. For cost of transportation, which is needed is a crane. Starting with crane, the quantity of it is only one needed. So cost per one unit that need to buy is 500,000 ringgit. So second is a truck, which is only two needed. So one truck is cost 150,000. And lastly is a sky crane, only one needed too. So cost per one unit is 1 million. So the total of it is 1,650,000 ringgit Malaysia. And lastly, for the cost of overhead, starting with the so overall cost of overhead. So first is administrative overhead, which is 1 million. Second is equipment and tool expenses, which is 700,000. Insurance 200,000. Office rent and utilities is 200,000 too. General office supplies and miscellaneous expense, which is 200,000. Permits and license 200,000. Taxes and regulatory fees 200,000. Monthly maintenance grant is 5,000 ringgit. And lastly is a monthly maintenance sky crane 15,000 ringgit. So the total cost of it is 2,720,000 ringgit Malaysia. Lastly, cost of grand total, which is total for overall cost of this project. Total is 18,970,910 ringgit Malaysia. That's it for me. Thank you.
Nadia. My name is Nordina Akila binti Shamri, and so for my part, I will be explaining for task 4.6, which consists of cash flow diagram and the depreciation of the crane. So for the first part is the cash flow diagram. For this project, our project manager actually bought two types of crane, which is the crane and the sky crane. So we calculate both of the crane cost, and I will be explaining for the crane part first. So the initial cost of the crane is 500,000, and the residual value after calculating is RM 333 cents, and for the maintenance value is 7,000 per month. The profit from the crane is 20,000 per month, and the period of the project is 17 months. So when we draw the cash flow diagram, this is how it turns out. And for the upwards arrow, it shows the cash in, which is the profit that we gain, and also the 333,000 arrow is for the residual asset value after selling the crane after 17 months. And okay, so for the period at 0, there is actually 500k arrow pointing downwards, which is the initial cost where the company bought the crane, and the monthly 7k arrow pointing down is the maintenance cost. Moving on to the sky crane, the cash flow for the sky crane, it's actually the same diagram but with different values. So for the sky crane, the initial cost is 1 million ringgit, and the residual asset value after calculating is 6,666 and 67 ringgit, and the monthly cost for the maintenance monthly cost for the sky crane is 10,000 ringgit. The profit monthly that will gain from this sky crane is 50,000 ringgit, and also the period is the same, which is the 17 months throughout the whole project. Okay, so for the cash flow, just like before, just like the previous one, the arrow pointing upwards means that the company is gaining profit, which is we gain profit at the monthly profit and the residual asset value, the 50k and the 666,000k. And for the arrow pointing downwards, which were meant that the cash were given out, the cash out process, which is when the initial cost, which is when the company buy the sky crane, 1 million ringgit, and also during the maintenance, monthly maintenance, which costs 10,000 ringgit per month. Moving on, for the next part, we have the straight line depreciation for the crane and the sky crane. For the first part, which is the crane, the value is same like just now, the calculation at the cash flow diagram. So we add the year for the depreciation calculation is 7 years, and the annual depreciation expenses is 23,809 ringgit and 52 cents. So the value is constant for the crane throughout 7 years, and the total depreciation is the total up for how many years. So after 7 years, the total depreciation goes to 166,666 ringgit and 64 cents, and the book value at the end of the year I, we should get back the value from the residual asset value we calculate in the cash flow diagram, which is the 333,000 ringgit. Okay, so this is the graph of depreciation, total depreciation and book value for crane. So the blue line, the straight blue line at the below is the depreciation value, which is the constant value throughout the 7 years, and the orange value that goes upward is the total depreciation, which the depreciation value that adds up for each year until it reached 1,666,000. And the last one is the gray line pointing downward, which is decreasing, which is the book value. So when we bought the crane, the value is 500,000, but after 7 years the value drops to 353,000. For the next part, which is the sky crane depreciation value, it is the same process as the crane just now. So the initial cost is 1 million ringgit, the residual asset value is 666,000, and the asset each and the chosen I is 7 years, and the annual depreciation expenses is 47,619 ringgit and 5 cents. So that is the value that the sky crane, that is the value for the sky crane throughout the 7 years, the depreciation value. And when the 47,000 is added up until the 7 years, it total up to 333,000. And then for the book value, the last value goes to the total up value at year 7 goes to 666,000. The value is same like the residual asset value or the graph. The shape of the graph is also the same for the crane just now. We got the constant value line, which is the depreciation value for the sky crane, which is 47,000. And then we got the increasing value, the orange line, which is the total depreciation. It starts from the 47,000 and added up until the 333,000 at year 7. And for the book value, we got a decreasing line, the gray line, and it started from 952,000 and ended up at 666,000. So I have already explained for my part, and that is all for our Group E mini project video presentation. Thank you, madam.